Thank you for being a member. Nenshifu, Maya, Erwin, Frogcat Dog, Streets, Zephyr, Static Gray, Strong, Tall, Handsome, Muscular, Raw, Dominant Man, Kikiri, Rimu, Fernando, Chichikun, Chaos, Sildil, Trapper Keeper, Tethys, CFE, Oaxis, Derek, Titus, Kit, Big, Archie, Nate, Thermitro, Livid, Joycon, CJ, Gabriel, Lazaro, Jeffrey, Ghibli, Mick, Solar, Glizzy, and Eric. Thank you for being a member. Hello, Papuki here, and welcome back to another quick Destiny 2 Hunter build video. Today, I am going to be going over the replacement for Liar's Caliban. A lot of people remember Liar's Caliban for being one of the best Hunter exotics in Destiny, but a long time ago, it was nerfed into obscurity. It barely takes down majors, and it gets you killed pretty much all the time and isn't really useful in any content. Well, we have a replacement. With the glaive changes that came with the launch of Heresy, glaives, especially Vexcalibur, ones with close to melee, and Winterbite, deal an absurd amount of damage if you know how to use them correctly. I will note that this is not using Nobel. There is no Nobel in this at all. None whatsoever. So I'm not getting that 80 to 90% glaive melee damage. This is just from the exotic and the glaive itself after the changes, and our build, which is going to help with the whole, gameplay style of utilizing a glaive and getting up close. So to start, the weapons, because they're very important, right? Vexcalibur. This is the role you want. Very good in selling a weapon. I would say this is better than Winterbite in many cases, but Winterbite is better if you have a form of survivability that doesn't come from the weapon itself, and it will chunk if you want to go that route. But Vexcalibur is so safe and only does 30% less than Winterbite, yet makes you practically immortal. For the kinetic slot, you have things like Refusal of the Call with close to melee, and you have Rake Angle for Chill Clip. And of course, Winterbite. Now, for the class item, there are actually multiple options. Anything with Synthoceps will work. Inmost Synthoceps, Renewal Synthoceps, Bow Tracer Synthoceps, and Galanor Synthoceps are all very good options. I have used all of them extensively, and I have come to the conclusion that Renewal Synthoceps are like the number 2 because of it's a great idea. You throw a Renewal Nade at the ground, you glaive the boss, right? But in actuality, the bubble only lasts like 5 seconds and doesn't really do much. So Inmost Light, right? You can't beat the classic. So Inmost Synthoceps, the classic. For our mod setup, nothing is different here. I am running a Void Siphon because Multimach is making orbs on its own, so I can get my special back, which isn't really needed. You can honestly empty this whole helmet slot and nothing would change. For the gauntlets, nothing matters. Chestplate, nothing matters. You could slot in a melee damage resist, but it doesn't really matter. For the boots, just a scavenger for the glaive you are using. The classic recuperation stacks on stacks with a special finisher. You can use powerful attraction for the orb pickup, or you can use proximity ward to make yourself safer when you are finishing. For our class, we are using Prismatic. You can use any super you want, but Tether is fantastic for locking down an enemy or groups of enemies while you are using a glaive. We are going to be using Gambler's Dodge, so we get our Threaded Spike back. Our Threaded Spike is going to sever the enemy that we are going to glaive, which is going to reduce the incoming damage towards us, which is very strong, and it's going to give us Radiant, which does apply to our glaive melees. We are going to be using Grapple, because if you don't have Grapple on Hunter, you are making a mistake. Why Renewal Grasp is good with Duskfield is because, well, it's good, but if you don't have Grapple, you can't get into combat with your glaive before the enemies shoot you and kill you. For our aspects, we are using Stylish Executioner because glaives proc Stylish Executioner and take upon the damage bonus and melee weaken, so you can loop invisibility with your glaive. Next up is Winter Shroud. We are using this not because of the slow, but the slow is good, right? We are using it because it gives you a 50%, that's right, 50% DR for 4.5 seconds on cast, and when it slows the enemy, that also overloads them, which makes them, give you less damage incoming towards you. So when you dodge near an enemy for going into damage, you have a 50% DR from here, you have the sever from here, and the slow from here, making targets not really do any damage to you. For our fragments, we have Faceted Protection. We are always near enemies. This is just going to keep us a lot more protected. Faceted Purpose, so when we do get an orb, which is kind of rare, we get Sustained. This is just free. You want this. Faceted Dawn, so when we throw our Threaded Spike onto an enemy, we can buff our glaive damage. Facet of Courage, so if you bring this into endgame content, you can do golden gun swaps, but you can really swap this with anything, but there's not really any great options. Facet of Blessing, this is a massive piece of the build. Whenever you get a melee final blow, it'll start health regeneration. This is immediate and actually has a little bump of health, right? Imagine this as like a half a recuperation and a better already on every single melee kill, and this procs on glaives. So while you're up and close, one-shotting every single enemy into Master and Grandmaster content, you are going to be getting health on every single kill. Because Vexcalibur gives you a Void Overshield, that means when enemies hit you, they will not interrupt the healing from your recovery and regeneration that comes from Blessing. So when you get kills, you are going to get healed, and enemies cannot interrupt that, making you practically immortal whenever you have an Overshield. In order to show this, I'm going to have some GM gameplay with Duqk at the end, but before that, I am going to be doing a commentated gameplay on what I'm doing and how this build works in a Master of Filian's Rest Lost Sector. I will see you there. Alrighty, we are in a Filian's Rest on Master. Oh my god, guys, oh my god. Just gonna use my grapple to get up close, because if you're not up close, you're just gonna have a bad time. You always want to block and get your overshield. Now, a change they made to Vexcalibur, which people have not talked about or made a video on, is the fact that if I use up my charge right now, right, the bar is going down, any melee kill will make the bar go up to max. And if you know anything about glaives, that bar is basically an invulnerability bar. If you have anything of that bar, you are practically immortal, right? I'm just going to do this. Block that, get my overshield. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, dead. Onto the enemies, getting our overshield back up. Playing everything we see, gonna use my grapple to get up close to these enemies. And then since I have the slowing dodge, I can go up here, dodge to get these guys down. And since I have a Void Overshield, I can actually, the healing from Blessing, like I said prior, is going to go even when I get hit by enemies, simply because I am not actually taking damage to my health. I have ran the numbers on the damage bonus from Synthoceps and Vexcalibur, and a 3 times combination blow Liar's Handshake on a slowed enemy does less damage than a single melee attack from a glaive. I'm just going to use Transcendence here because I don't have any enemies to keep myself up. Do that, throw a melee, get some Radiant to make my melees do even more damage, and we are on our way. Gonna use our invis to get closer to the enemies here. Gonna sever them, slow them down, and then beat them to death. Throw a nade on this guy so he becomes overloaded in a second. Throw our melee. Use our dodge so we get DR and the enemies are slowed so they do even less. Use another thread spike, but I missed, but I can just dodge again. Spoil gives me enough energy. They are now unraveled. I have Radiant. There's a dead champion. There's a dead that guy. Boom. Boom, 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 and that is the Lost Sector completed. This build makes you invisible all the time, you always have overshields, you constantly get health on kill, which is something hunters lack, they lack sustain, and I'll show you for posterity, I do not have no bell on, which means this build is going to work as it is now, as it is going to be in Apollo, in, Edge of Fate. This build is going to last. It is going to stay. It has many options. You can use Galanor if you want to spam Silence and Squall. If you want to spam Silk Strike, if you want to do any of that, you can. If you want to use Renewal, if you're getting up and up and up and close, but I'm going to tell you don't need it because of the DR from the Void Overshield. So that is it. Thank you for watching and enjoy the Grandmaster gameplay. You ready for glaive maxing, bro?
Banner does things.
Oh, I have Foe Tracer Syntho on instead of Renewal. Ah, who cares? Who cares?
Real plan. I think it's teleporting away. You fucked up, buddy.
No banner. Here, have a Renewal. That's not even a Renewal nade. There we go. Oh my god.
If that was Renewal, I would have lived. I've got this in the time.
3 corpse to eat? That's so cool.
Projectile DTS right now.
Oh, wowie, wowie.
Wowie. Well, for like enemy GMs maybe not, but for this one where like you get 1 enemy per 10 minutes. Oh, they burned. My god, he got burned.
I have a Duskfield and no Renewal. So sorry to tell you.
I see. Very unfortunate. What pod in the business, bro?
I love killing anti-barrier champions. It's murder time.
Stacks up. Alright, there you go. Oh, they're burning. They're burning. Oh, it's burning. It's burning. I just saw a ball and my first thought was must consume.
I mean, don't you think like that in real life? Like,
that's it. The natural ball reaction. I am just a person. You can't expect me to just ignore my natural reaction to balls. Impossible. I'm burning right now.
oh my god, Duqk, do you have anything to say for the people at home? Do you have anything to say?
I love Vexcalibur.